Good day. Today we're going to interview Dominic Peterson, a representative of High Hope. Dominic, can you tell me about yourself?
I believe in myself, I follow my heart, and I'm passionate about teaching sign language to deaf friends.
What type of hearing loss do you have?
I have moderate hearing loss.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Dominican School for the Deaf.
How did you become deaf?
I was born deaf. My mom became ill while she was pregnant with me.
What is your first language?
My first language is English.
Growing up, what is your communication with your family?
My communication with my family was oral.
Are you the only deaf person in your family?
No, my mom is deaf, my brother is deaf, my husband, and my youngest son.
What do you do for a job?
At the moment, I'm studying at Cape Town College, level 5, as a teacher. I'm volunteering at the ECD Center as a teacher assistant.
How is it being deaf at work?
Communications is quite fine. They know they need to lip, read my lips as well as I should read their lips. They do know that I do have a hearing disability.
What advice do you have for parents that have a deaf child?
I would say it's not the end of the world to have a deaf child. There is hope out there, such as High Hope.
What advice would you have for a new HR?
For new HI, I would say that they should be able to learn the basic of sign language.
So, how did I lose my hearing? I don't really know. My mother and father did try to find out, but they don't really know. So, they told me that when I was 2 years old, I was walking and I did fall. I bumped my head. I've got the scar, and they think that bump may have damaged my hearing. So, from that time, I went to the doctor, and the doctor did some research and investigating and found that I'd lost my hearing and fitted me with hearing aids, which did help me to hear. And I could hear certain different things like music, voices, and yeah, it did help me. So when I found out that I was deaf and I'd lost my hearing, I was put into a school for the deaf, and that was St. Vincent's, and that's where I grew up completely. So the language there, well, actually I have two languages, English and sign language, both of them. I'm bilingual because at home I am oral and we use English, and at school I used both English and sign language, so it was oral and signing. So I consider myself bilingual. So with my family, how do I communicate? And that is oral. So when we started out, my parents and my family did learn a little bit of sign language, but when the school saw that I was really good at being oral, they informed my family that they should focus on that. And so they let the signing go, and I grew up oral, and even now that's how I am. So what work do I do? At the moment I don't have full-time work, but I do part-time jobs. Like at High Hopes, I help parents and people communicate in sign language, people who are struggling. And I really enjoy this work. And I've also done other jobs before, teaching sign language or other jobs, various things, including sign language and others. Everything is that, but for now I'm still looking. So advice for parents who maybe have a child who is deaf, I would say the best advice would be to learn sign language, because the baby cannot hear, so it's better. This is a disability that you need to support. By signing, you can help your child to communicate better, and they can ask anything. Their brain can start imagining things and thinking things, and they can express themselves better. So sign language is really the best tool for a child and for a family to be able to communicate properly. So my advice for HIs would be, I would say when you start to visit families and you start to explain things and encourage them, that's all fine and well, but what's really important is to be gentle. They are going through a very emotional time, and you need to encourage them and really look after them. And also what's important is sometimes you will start to teach, maybe the alphabet or a few signs, and you might see the family making some mistakes with direction or hand shape. Don't grab their hand and change it. Don't sit mirrors, sit the same side as them so they can see exactly what you're doing. To see mirror image is a little bit difficult for them, so you'll have to keep correcting them. So rather sit the same side as them so they can follow along with you and they can learn to sign properly. And don't touch and manipulate their bodies and their faces. So the last thing I'd like to add is that this road will be difficult. Yes, it will. But even though there will be challenges, you can make it through, because working with these children, teaching them sign language and how to work with a deaf child, in the end, it is just such a big, valuable gift.